Well, given given how Rob sounded on the phone when I called him, who knows how long it'll take for him to get here? So let's go ahead and just get something done. I'll talk about the premise of the game first. For those of you who weren't here last time, um, in the year 1933, some accounts start appearing in newspapers about an expedition which is being formed to go to the Antarctic. I can't talk to the Antarctic. Um, uh, Put together by two gentlemen, James Starkweather and let's see his name. Moore. Can't think of his first name.
War.
William Moore. William Moore. Starkweather is a sort of a world-renowned adventurer and explorer. He was also a war hero, and Moore is a geologist at Miskatonic University. They're putting together this expedition largely to recover what remains of a previous expedition in 1930. Miskatonic University had their own expedition to the Antarctic, which met a tragic end due to some nasty weather. There were some casualties, and I mean most of the people in the expedition escaped with their lives, but there were some people died, and they had stated that they've made some fantastic discoveries, but unfortunately, all the fossils which well, most of the fossils which they claimed to have discovered also were lost. So this expedition is for a number of things. It's first, it's just to map the Antarctic by plane, which has not yet been thoroughly done. It's also to recover the scientific findings of the previous expedition. It's to do some. It's to get geological samples and perhaps biological samples and so on. Anything of interest to scientific inquiry, and if possible, to locate the ruins of the Miskatonic expedition's ill-fated journey and recover their things and perhaps the bodies of those who were left behind. So in newspapers, you started seeing pictures of the dashing James Starkweather, talking about all the fact that the Antarctic is the next great adventure for mankind, generating publicity. And at the same time, he and Moore began to solicit um, persons who might be interested in joining the expedition, particularly people with some type of useful technical expertise. But also, they're obviously looking for anyone who's willing to fund them. So basically, anyone who has a significant fortune they're willing to invest, they'll be happy to take them to the Antarctic. And also, they're looking for. Hey, Rob. Hey, man, what's up?
I had an knuckle here today, and I fell asleep after they left. So,
I was just talking about the premise of the game, so I'll start over in brief.
okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. Basically, 1933, an expedition to the Antarctic is being put together by two persons, the adventurer James Starkweather and the geologist William Moore, for a whole variety of reasons, but primarily to follow up on the ill-fated Miskatonic expedition 3 years previously. And they are recruiting persons who would either have useful technical skills or money to invest, or also, as a possibility, any celebrity. They're really looking for publicity. So anyone that likely would generate some news, they'll be happy to take out onto the ice. So Starkweather and Moore start contacting people, and also make it known that they're that they are interested in other persons who wish to go to the Antarctic to apply. That's what's going on. Let me share you a document here. I have a list of professions which would be most useful. However, as I said before, they'll take anyone who either has money or fame, um, whether they have useful skills or not. Let's see here.
Would that be?
In the folder, there's the. Let me share the folder here for everyone's benefit. And then within that folder, the setting and handouts folder has a newspaper clipping, 2 newspaper clippings about the expedition, and also there's a handout about recruiting, the kinds of persons they're most interested in. But again, they're not that picky. If you have some useful skill or some logistical benefit to the expedition. Now, Bishop, you've already made a dog's handler, right?
Basically, just a cold weather survival person.
Okay.
I can, do dog sleds.
Oh, but you're not specifically a dog expert.
Yeah, I'm as good at that as I am anything else.
Oh, fair enough.
Cold weather survival.
And I know, Rich, you had made sort of a dilettante rockhound.
Yes.
Yeah. So a skilled geologist, but primarily like a hobbyist.
Archaeologist.
Archaeologist. Okay. And I
dabble in paleontology, though.
Who doesn't? Right. So. And frankly, I do not at all remember what Christy was doing. Let's see if she posted to the if she updated the character sheet listed in the folder, then I would know. Let's see.
Governess.
Oh, that's right. She just wanted to. Yeah, she was just like someone who wanted to buy her way aboard. Yeah.
Okay.
Along those lines, yeah. So if you go to the folder I listed before, there's a character generation folder. It has PDF, which is character generation, and that should tell you everything you need to know to make a character. And there's also some plain text character sheets there as well.
Which one?
If you're in the Beyond the Mountains of Madness folder, then within that there's a character sheets and character generation folder.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a PDF which has complete rules for character generation. I tried to be very, very thorough so that you wouldn't have to refer to anything else. And then there's some plain text character sheets there as well.
So look for the one that says PDF character generation questionnaire.
No.
Character generation.
CMC character generation.pdf. It's also an RTF format as well, and then I have a blank sheet there for everyone as well.
Crap.
What's the problem?
Somehow I've got this instead of seeing you guys, and I can't figure out how to get back.
Oh, we can see you.
Yeah, I know I got that, but
did you click on your own?
yeah, I clicked on the. I'm in Safari, and I'm not used to.
Well, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I may have to hang up.
Any thoughts as to what people might want to do?
What would you like?
Makes no difference to me. I want you to be happy.
It's
I would like to show you the absurd size of this scenario to know what you're getting into here. You see, this is book here. You see,
Nice.
phone book.
Nice.
What?
Admittedly, about a third of that are appendices, but nonetheless,
I don't
this
know
is
what
going
I
to take
wanna
a while.
I'm sorry, Dave. Can you reshare that link?
Yes.
I erased it.
There you go.
So just roll 3d6. So what's the?
Well, as the handout says, each of the characteristics is rolled on a different dice range. Strength is 3d6, and Dex is 3d6. Intelligence is 2d6 plus 6, and so on.
Okay.
Those scores which are generated with the same range, for example, intelligence and size both have the same dice range. You could swap those scores around if you wished.
Okay.
But only those which are generated with the same range. So,
Insidious.
later on, it would be cool if people could find images for their characters. I can provide, some possibilities, but you could find your own image. And I can convert it to like black and white and sepia or whatever. I want to make it look properly antique. So
I need to try to find it. I'm going to try to look at that to give me some inspiration because I'm sort of between a couple of different things.
Take your time. There's no rush, man.
Oh, I've already rolled all my stats, so I'm not going to be very strong.
Well,
Intelligence is okay. Dex is pretty good, but my strength is 5.
it's pretty weak.
I rolled terrible.
That's pretty weak.
Did you read about how you can interchange the ones with the same dice?
Yeah, and that was doing that. I had a 5, 11, 10, 12, 14 of those rolls that could be interchanged. And I figured
honestly, of
Dex.
those, strength is probably the least important. So.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
That's what I figured for sure. I went for Dex and Con and Power being the higher
you
power.
particularly don't want a really low con when you're going to be in
No.
in the Antarctic. That would be a bad idea.
Yeah. So
Well, I'll just make it easier for you to kill her.
Well, it's always easy to kill characters. That's not a challenge. I mean,
how come I can't open these?
I'm not nearly as lethal as you guys seem to suggest I am. I don't know how that reputation persists so long.
Possibly the way you smile when
I do take glee when people suffer. That's true.
Excuse me.
Who doesn't?
Schadenfreude, that's what they say.
that's rough.
While I'm at it, I'll do a couple of screen shares here. Show you what's going on. That is James Starkweather.
Did we ever play the one where I was a like a hunter?
I don't remember. It must have been quite a while ago.
Because I seem to have like big game hunter kind of picture here, but
Oh, that was probably the Hollow Earth thing. Yeah, we did a couple of sessions of the Hollow Earth game. That's probably where you got that from. That's James Starkweather and his, well, they're not colleagues because they don't work together, but his partner and expedition co-chair there, William Moore.
Yuck. Oh my god. That's extreme.
Now, one thing about Call of Cthulhu, at least this edition of the game, this is the 6th edition that we're playing. I think it was true of every edition up to the most recent one. Your education score actually literally equals the number of years of formal education you've had. So, for example, if you end up with a education score of 12, that would mean you finished high school, and so on. You can increase your education later by increasing your age. That's the kind of the second step in character generation. And your education is also largely going to determine how good you are at your career skills. So generally speaking, the better you are, the older you are. Which makes some sense.
I'm a celebrity if not made based on the looks.
Yeah.
Unless I was an 8 man. At some point.
You said size was 8?
No,
Tiny
no.
little man.
No, not my size. I ain't done my size yet.
Yeah, as I recall, Chrissy's character is like an elderly woman who is a governess, and she's kind of a local celebrity. Where she writes a column for a newspaper about manners.
Okay. This is extreme. But I can shift that around to that.
So they need pilots, right?
Yeah, they need all of those professions. Do you need that handout again?
Yeah, that's all right. I'll be a pilot.
I got really great numbers except for one.
And obviously, because of the nature of the expedition, they want to have double and triple redundancy for every possible, eventuality. So there's no problem with, too many pilots. They're not going to find any more on the ice down there, that's for sure.
Maybe I will go with that. That works. Although I'm not very dexterous. That wouldn't matter in a fight.
Why, is somebody else going to be a pilot?
No.
No, there's some NPCs. There are a lot of NPCs that fill all these tasks, but no one else has said no other PC has said anything about being a pilot.
Okay. Caucasian woman number 8.
That sounds so impersonal.
And I don't have a name for her yet. And
No, you don't want to just stick with Caucasian woman number 8?
Right. CW8. I kind of want to be...
I don't... what did I do? Where are you looking for those... where are you looking at those images, actually? 'Cause I don't remember where I put them.
Your... go back again.
Oh, are they in the Google Docs?
Beyond the Mountains of Madness.
Oh, I didn't realize I'd stuck them there. They must have been in there for ages.
And then, yeah, women, number 8. And then I'm thinking, I don't know.
All right, let's look at number 8.
Sideshow freak.
I'm trying to figure out why she would go, other than to maybe sort of kind of tag along to learn something, like maybe she works with Moore or Starkweather or something. Almost like grad student sort of thing.
Oh, you could do that. I mean, there are a lot of other academic type people who are going.
Sure.
So you could work for any of them.
But something sort of like that. Like I'm really eager to get my hands on some research kind of thing.
Yeah, sure. Let me tell you the other the other NPCs that are going on the expedition, see if any of them sound interesting. Or it could be that, if you don't want to deal with those, you could just say that whoever you were going to go with has backed out at the last minute, so on. So you're kind of left on your own. But let me see. Other people who are going. It's a pretty large cast of characters. Looking at diagrams of snow tractors and all right, ignoring the. Okay, so of course there's Moore himself. He's a geologist and paleontologist from Miskatonic University. There's a geologist from Cornell, a paleontologist from UC Berkeley. There's an archaeologist from the University of Chicago. A lot of these people have graduate assistants with them. There's a meteorologist from Oberlin.
What was the one from Berkeley?
Paleontologist.
Okay.
From Berkeley.
How are we going to be getting around in the lovely Arctic?
Primarily by plane, plane and dog sled.
Okay, dog sled. Good. That sounds.
That
could be a dog wrangler.
Yeah. One of the big goals of this expedition is to try to map a lot of the continent by air, which has never been thoroughly done before. They have specially designed planes.
Hey Rob, FYI, I don't know if you heard, but I'm a cold weather survivalist, so, and I'm pretty good, just like I am with everything else in dog sled.
Okay, well, this is.
But if you want to specialize in it, then I can just help you with that.
Well, this is the character I've got. I came up with. I naturally did this. I got 17 strength, 12 con, 13 size, 10 dex, 17 intelligence, 14 power, 15 education, and 6 appearance.
Oh, there's also Nicole. There's also a glaciologist, by the way.
Meet Jimbo the Eggman.
Yep. Well, living in the wasteland, cold wasteland.
No, that's how I made my living. I'm a celebrity. I'm Jimbo the Eggman. I've been doing this for years.
Oh, okay. Well, you may personally know Starkweather. Then he's explored a lot of the remote recesses of the world. Like I said,
all I really know is Saskatchewan, where I was born, and various carnival shows around the country.
Hey, as long as people will take pictures of you getting on and off the ship, that's all that matters.
Oh yeah, because few people have ever seen anyone as ugly as me.
Well, 6. I mean, that's ugly, but it's not, remarkably ugly.
6 isn't remarkably ugly.
Well, since it goes down to 3, I mean, and it's a bell curve. I mean, 6 is ugly. I mean, very ugly. But I think everyone will have seen someone who with an appearance of 6. Of course, that doesn't mean you can't, accentuate your, ugliness if you want to make that your gimmick.
That's my gimmick.
Yeah.
It's fun. So,
all right. What do people have in mind? We know what Rob's doing. Nicole, you wanted to be a graduate student.
Yes.
Working for the Paleontologist.
Yes.
By the way, who's only 29 years old, so you know.
And I'm 19, so it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Tell you what, I'll put some points in the radio operator.
Yeah.
We'll need that, won't we?
Hey, Rob, I'm a Cree Indian from Split Lake, Canada.
Oh, we're from
Up in Manitoba. Yes.
the same country.
Yep.
How about radio? How about radio operator? I can do that, and you can drive the dogs.
Well, you know, like I said before, I mean, if you guys just want to make sure that you don't have too much cross-pollination, that's fine. But it's certainly not necessary for the scenario. You know, they want lots and lots of duplication of skills.
Okay, well, let me just get on.
There's no easy way to you know, get new personnel once they're, you know, so remote. So happy with lots of redundancy.
Looking back. Okay.
I'm looking at Caucasian woman number 8.
Do you see her? Blonde hair, white shirt.
Yes, kind of a severe expression.
Really?
Well, I call it that, but you don't have to agree.
With the little curl kind of going up the side of her forehead? Yeah. Her name is Dorothy.
She's got big eyes.
She does. She does. But she goes by Dot. So that's Dorothy. I don't have a last name yet. Mental disorders. Okay.
And I'll do all that crap. Okay.
So James, what you got going on? You wanted to be a
So I'm filling out pilot, and there's a lot of pilot skills, like electrical repair and mechanical repair. So I'm trying to put some decent scores into those as well.
Yeah, and bear in mind, So if you're following along with the character creation document, I don't know how old you want to be, but you can choose to be older to make yourself more skilled.
Okay, that's all right. This is pretty decent. I've got to figure out what I want as my hobby skills. I've got the main skills assigned. It's just now assigning hobby skills.
All right, sounds good.
Something so that I'll live. So like hide and dodge.
This is stupid.
What's that?
What's 15 times 20?
300.
300.
Polar survival. I see. So there's sneak and then there's hide.
Yeah, sneak's moving quietly.
What?
Sneak is moving quietly.
And hide is, oh, I see. Hide is not being seen and not being heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very granular.
Would acting be an art?
What's that?
Would acting be an art?
I guess it depends on what you mean by acting.
Pretending to be a monkey man.
Oh, yeah, I'd say that's an art, yeah. Or you could just go with fast talk.
By doing that too.
Or disguise.
That too.
A number of different, well, okay, you can approach it from different angles.
Yeah. But I just want to know, because I'm going to put some points into that. Just to...
Yeah.
So survival, would that include some polar survival?
The way that I think there are so many skills, and obviously some of them would cross over with others.
Okay.
I think that if you have a related skill, you should be able to roll it, perhaps at a small penalty, but it's not. They're not completely exclusive. I don't think that would be unrealistic. And bear in mind, when you get down to your hobby skills, which allow you to choose any skills you want to, if you want to choose languages or weapon skills, that would be the opportunity to do it. Language shouldn't really be an issue for this game so much as it was for the Horror Air Express game, because you would expect that everyone will be able to speak English. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been.
Has anyone done medicine? Any thought about that?
I don't think anyone has any formal training in medicine, no.
Okay.
I'm pretty good at first aid.
Okay. Well, this guy's pretty intelligent, so.
Now, so Rich, you're an archaeologist,
Yes.
and Nicole, you're a paleontologist.
Yes.
I will send you guys a brief summary of the scientific discoveries of the Miskatonic expedition, or at least the ones they announced to the public before they were all lost in the weather. Because what they released by radio to the world was that they had discovered some unique fossils of animals unknown to science. That seem to have sort of a hybridization of animal and plant characteristics. And they were very, very, very old. So I'll send you what the Miskatonic expedition purported to find. Although, again, a lot of that evidence was never brought back to civilization.
Okay, I put 3 points in the medicine.
No, that's pretty good.
We always need somebody.
So I saved this. So hit share.
If you're editing it online, it should just
share it automatically.
Yeah. The document is there, so any of us can look at it at any time. Let me just double check that. So let me see what you've done, James. Yeah. I see. For example, you have a 15 electrical repair and so on. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So it's there.
Yeah.
So I click off on it.
Yeah. I know those character sheets are kind of unsightly, but the reason I like to do them this way is so that they're just available there all the time.
Okay. I haven't put name and stuff in, but let me go pick a picture. Where are the pictures at? Portraits, I see.
If you look in the main folder, there is a portraits and tokens subfolder, and then you have pictures, classified by race, basically, race and gender.
I'll make the numbers work later, but what the hell?
I think I had something before.
Yeah, and I saw that you were Rich, you were flashing that little splash page. Yeah, that's cool. I'll make one of those for everyone if you don't want to bother doing it yourself. I think that's a very nice thing to do. Remind everyone of your name, what you look like, and so on.
Doing the dice stream.
Yeah, you can
That's
do
just
it.
the dice stream. Yeah.
Oh, you can do it in the Duststream. That'll work on that. Because before I was using like I sent people images with transparencies, but your way is simpler. That's nice. Reginald P. Worthington III.
The third.
You sound like a fancy man.
Listen, I'm financing part of this mission, so.
Oh, but how much money are you devoting?
Let's just say roughly 80% of all the funds.
I'll have to look up the currency converter again. In the 30s, I think a U.S. dollar in the 30s is worth about 10 times as many dollars today, or something along that line. So, I mean, not that it matters. It's not going to be buying anything once you get out. You leave civilization anyway, presumably. As far as the route, you're starting off in New York City, and then you'll be sailing through the Panama Canal to Australia, and then from Australia down to the Antarctic. So next time when we get together, we'll do kind of a summary recruiting a bit, because obviously none of you are going to be rejected. That would be, but we'll just talk about the kind of things that they would talk to you during your recruiting visits, and then we will begin in earnest. Let's talk about that. So today's the 30th. How do people think they would likely be around on January 13th? That would be 2 weeks from today.
I will be in the Bahamas.
Should be fine.
Well, how about so you are in, how about the 20th then, January 20th?
Yes.
Good.
Should be good.
All right. No objections to the 20th?
I don't think.
In that Google Docs folder, the same one where everything else is, in the character sheets and character generation folder, I put up a list of a little questionnaire. Don't feel compelled to answer all these questions, but you might want to answer some of them. I'll just give you some, make your character a little bit more three-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
I've added this to calendar, so hopefully I'll remember.
Well, I'll call you later. I'll call you next time, Rob. I posted to Google
I'm
Plus,
sorry, I completely forgot again, and my aunt and uncle decided at the last minute.
No worries. No worries.
And Lee's in Pontotoc. So
why?
Because that's where because her aunt died, and they're trying to resolve her aunt's.
Oh, bummer. Oh, sorry to hear that. Tell her she has my condolences.
No, that was several months ago.
Just dealing with legal stuff now?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like it was, kind of unexpected, but still, she was 92.
Mm-hmm. Well, guys, I think unless you have any questions, you have all the information that you need right there. We can hang out as long as you want to, but I think you're probably more than capable of finishing this on your own, wouldn't you think?
Okay. Now, I mean, remember this. The points you take from your skills also go to your fighting abilities, your martial arts, and all that. I forgot.
If a skill is part of your profession, if a combat skill is part of your profession, then sure. Otherwise, you would need to buy those skills with your hobby points.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I figured I would have to box at some point.
Yeah, that's good.
And
were you wrestling bears, perhaps? Like Vladimir Putin?
Oh, come on! This is the carnies and the 20s or whatever. I'm wrestling people. Who wants to come rescue Jim? Who wants to come see how long they can last against Jimbo?
I understand.
In the ring.
I think this character sounds very amusing.
How do you figure out your hit points?
Is it not
Your
on the
your con plus your oh, is it size? Yeah, con plus size divided by 2 round up.
Let me just look at the character generation questionnaire. It's on there. If you it's toward the bottom of the first page. There's quite a lot of figured characteristics, and your hit points are the average of your con and size, rounding up.
I can't figure out how damage works.
What do you mean how damage works?
Well, what's your damage? You get a damage bonus.
Well, you add your strength and size together, and then you may or may not have a damage bonus.
Okay, well that's 30.
Okay, if your strength plus size is 30, then you have a damage bonus of plus 1d6. That's with melee weapons, and you get half of that with projectiles.
I mean, the other stuff is pretty straightforward. But
Yeah, actually, once you get past the hobby point step, everything else is just derived values. And all that stuff like lift, endurance, charm, all that stuff. It's just a derived value. You don't really have to worry about it in advance. You can just calculate it as needed. But if you want to do it, now you could certainly.
I've got a lot of points to work with. They got 170 plus 300.
Yeah, that is a lot.
Well, looks aren't everything. Oh.
All right. If you want to take a look at my character sheet.
Oh, lovely. I'll do that.
I think knife is all I want to do.
Knife, gonna stab some fools.
Yes.
All right. And also, once you we lost Rich. I didn't realize he was gone. And also, you may want to make a list of the things that you wish to take with you on the expedition. Basically anything that'll fit in a footlocker. On board the ship, you have basically as much space as you want to. But when they're going to build their own structures once they get to the Antarctic, and going to build their own base camp and so on. So space will be kind of at a premium. But you can bring anything you want to, as long as it basically will fit in a footlocker, or else you want to smuggle it aboard, or persuade Starkweather or more to allow you to bring it along.
Okay. Here, try see if that. One second. There you go. There's an image.
Oh yeah, very cool one. I will save that to the desktop. Hey, Rich, you having some technical problems?
Yeah, my computer wasn't completely plugged in, and it had about less than an hour of battery life, so it just cut off on me.
Okay, this guy Lee's calling. I'll be back.
But,
all right. Well, look. Anyway,
I think I'm all set to go.
If y'all don't want to go, you can.
I think that.
I think I'm set to go.
Everyone should be. I mean, if you need to contact me, go ahead and do it. But I think all the information is there. We should be good to go in 3 weeks' time.
Got it.
All right.
I'll see you guys then.
It's been a pleasure.
See you about the Bahamas.
Adios.
Bye. New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
Safe
Year.
travels.
Yeah.
We just made characters. Oh, with Linda and Tommy, we went next somewhere. Linda did not know what ditches that ran between streams. She thought they were that ran between the backyards of houses. It was beautiful. She wants you to get cholera.